Okay, I'm having trouble with Screencastify, so I quit doing that where you could see it on the computer, but it's the same thing. I just printed out the assignment. As you can see, it's still pretty, my printer's just bad, but quick thing, if we're doing squares, like obviously you want to pay attention to what you're doing. You should have your notes. Like I have my notes with me right there. I got the squares, I got the cubes right there. Okay, but if I have the squares, I'm taking the square root. Square root of that is 6, right? So this is 6 squared minus a squared, right? Once I get that, then I know what my answer is. It's 6 plus a times 6 minus a. Okay, and that should be in your answers down at the bottom. But that one was very straightforward, right? The next problem they mix the number and the letter, and they even put different letters. Doesn't matter, okay? The only thing I check for is if it's squares and they have sum. In your notes, sum of squares is never factorable. Never. So this one right here, like you can rewrite it if you want. Like this is 7y squared, and this one is just x squared, but that's prime. Another way to say that is not factorable, right? Prime means it's not factorable. The other thing you know is that if you put that in or if you try to graph it, a prime one would have imaginary roots. Okay, so just ways that you can pick up on that really quickly. Okay, and at the next one, right? Number 3 is actually a ton of questions, but each question is pretty easy to get, right? They should be pretty easy at this point. First of all, the 3, you're never going to be able to take the square root of it, so the 3 has to be factored out. So this one, if I take the 3 out, is 3 times x squared, and 48 divided by 3, where's that? 1. What is 48 divided by 3? I'm actually using the calculator. So it's 16. So x squared minus 16. Right, so now I know this is x squared minus 4 squared. Okay, because 16 is 4 squared. So now I got the difference of squares. So I got the 3 in front. I got x plus 4. And I have x minus 4. Pretty easy, right? And you could switch these around. I don't know what they are down at the bottom, but you could even have the minus and the plus opposite. I don't think they'll do that on this. This one is just straightforward. X squared minus 7 squared. So the x goes first, plus 7. X minus 7. Okay, this one, if they have it like this, it's kind of terrible that they did that, but it could make it where you get the answer really easy. I can make this a negative 1 in front times 16x squared minus 64. Now it is a difference of squares, right? So I put a negative in front, and it is a difference of squares. I don't see a negative 1 in the bottom. Oh, actually, I'm cheating. I'm looking at the bottom to see what answers they have. If you divide out the negative 16 to begin with, so instead of dividing a negative 1, I pull the negative 16 out in front. That's x squared. 64 divided by negative 16. It's minus 4. So now that's just x squared minus 2 squared. So got the negative 16 in front, x plus 2, x minus 2. But again, I'm going to look down at the bottom and check some of those on the ones that are a little bit harder. What about a plus sign? A sum of squares is not factorable, so that's prime. Okay. A lot of times people get confused with the ones. Don't get confused by the ones. A 1 is just 1 squared. So this is x squared minus 1 squared. And you do it the same. X plus 1, x minus 1. This is x squared minus 6 squared. X plus 6, x minus 6. Right? Again, if you know the square roots, this makes it a lot faster. This one, I don't want to divide anything out of it. Actually, I can't divide anything out of it, so you're not doing GCF. So this one is the square root of 81 is 9. So that's 9x squared minus 7 squared. That's 9x plus 7, 9x minus 7. All right, I'm going to leave you the last two to do on your own.